Welcome to this video on Development and Inequality, the North-South Divide. Today we will discuss development and inequality at the global level. Focus will be on the North-South Divide, a key concept in international relations. Development is defined as a sustained improvement in people's lives, encompassing economic, social, and political quality of life. It is not solely about economic growth. We can look at development through two views: the old, narrow view focusing only on GDP and economic growth, and the modern, broad view considering education, health, employment, equality, and human rights. Key thinkers in this field include Mahbub, who developed the Human Development Index and focused on human development, not just income, and Amartya Sen, who introduced the capability approach, linking development to freedom. Development has three main dimensions: economic development, income, jobs, poverty reduction, social development, education, health, gender equality, and political development, democracy, rights, rule of law. Inequality is the unequal distribution of income, wealth, and opportunities. It is a situation where some have too much and others have too little. Inequality can manifest in several forms: economic, social, regional, and global. We can measure inequality using indicators such as the Gini Coefficient measures income inequality. The poverty line, currently $2.15 per day, shows minimum living standard, and the Human Development Index ranking gives a broader picture of development. The North-South Divide is the gap between rich, global North, and poor, global South countries, marked by significant economic, social, and political differences. The North-South Divide concept was popularized by the Brandt Commission in 1980. Their report called for a, quote, global bargain, emphasizing interdependence and mutual benefit, introducing the idea of the Brandt line. It's important to remember that the North-South Divide is primarily an economic division, not purely geographical. The Brandt line visually depicted this divide in the 1980s. The global North generally includes countries like the USA, Europe, and Japan. The global South comprises nations such as India, those in Africa, and Latin America. The global North is characterized by high income, advanced technology, and high literacy. In contrast, the global South typically features low income, limited technology, and lower literacy. One major cause of the divide is colonialism, which led to the exploitation of resources, destruction of local industries, and the creation of artificial borders, resulting in weak economies in the South. Trade inequality is another cause, where the global South exports raw materials and imports finished goods from the global North. This pattern, supported by the Prebisch-Singer hypothesis, contributes to the falling value of exports for the South. The industrial and technological gap is a critical factor. Early industrialization in the North contrasted with the South remaining primarily agricultural. Technology is largely controlled by the North, often due to patent restrictions like TRIPS. Political and institutional factors contribute to the divide, including political instability and corruption in the South. Globally, there is perceived bias in institutions like the IMF and World Bank, reflecting unequal global power. Key indicators used to measure development include gross domestic product, or GDP, the Human Development Index, or HDI, the Gini Coefficient for Inequality, and the poverty rate. Consequences of the divide include widespread poverty, resulting in hunger, malnutrition, and a lack of basic needs. This also drives migration from the South to the North in search of better job opportunities. Further consequences involve dependency on aid and loans, aligned with Andre Gunder Frank's concept of the development of underdevelopment. Climate inequality is also evident, where the North has high emissions and the South bears the high impact. Additionally, brain drain sees skilled workers migrate, leading to a loss for developing countries. Efforts to bridge the divide include foreign aid, the UN's 0.7% GNP target, and the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, aimed at reducing poverty and inequality. Other approaches are fair trade, technology transfer, and South-South cooperation. The North-South divide concept faces criticism for being oversimplified. Critics argue that it ignores internal inequality within countries, and that the rise of emerging economies challenges the rigid division. In conclusion, the North-South divide represents global inequality rooted in history and global systems. Solutions require fair trade, institutional reform, and inclusive development, aligning with Amartya Sen's view that development is freedom. To summarize, Development is the quality of life, inequality is unequal distribution, and the North-South divide is a global gap caused by colonialism, trade, and the tech gap. Solutions focus on SDGs and cooperation.